Hello Exile, Betta-ah here with a quick update on the lightsaber boy while I'm putting the full guard together. After putting different build variants together, I have a decision to make, which is between using Frostbolt or Freezing Pulse. They both perform really well in terms of clear and bossing, so I would like to know what you guys reckon is the best skill. Let me know in the comments down below please. Should you want to follow the build or future progress, then smack that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified on my latest videos. The path of building link is in the description with leveling trees if you are interested. Right, so what has changed since the last update video? All that has really changed is I've gotten a few corrupted implicits on my gear, such as on the shield over here, gain 6% of maximum mana as extra energy shield, giving us more energy shield of course. I've got the corrupted implicit on the Shaper's Gloves, which is maximum energy shield 2. Otherwise, I don't have anything else that's necessarily special. I have the Freezing Pulse enchant on the helmet as well. But I'm thinking of maybe switching to a different enchant, such as the new enchant for our Energy Blade that gives 15% increased attack speed, seeing as though I am now using an Awaken cast on critical strike support. So I've got a little bit extra increased cooldown recovery rate, and I think getting a bit more attack speed will be able to dish out a lot more frost bolts or freezing pulses, whichever one I come to a decision on using. Otherwise, looking at our skill tree, I've just changed the pathing a little bit here. I'll most likely be getting Throat Seeker for crit multi. I'll respec a few points out somewhere, probably this life over here and the strength. Otherwise, we have replaced our split personalities with the strength and intelligence over here and over here, giving us over here is 72 to strength and intelligence, and this one is 65 to strength and intelligence. I'm now almost onto 1200 strength and intelligence, which is pretty neat. Ultimately, we are receiving a lot of damage from strength and a lot of crit chance from our strength as well, thanks to our ascendancy with Battle Mage. We are now able to achieve even more damage with Energy Blade. As you can see here, I've currently got 17,700 energy shield, which transfers once you use Energy Blade to 8,800, which bumps up my Frostbolt's DPS by almost triple, as you can see here. Go from about 40,000, only 3,500 lightning damage, all the way up to 150,000 with up to 95,000 lightning damage, which is pretty huge. Otherwise, there's nothing else really that's changed. I've got some jewels here, just placeholdering for resistances at the moment. And I think the biggest improvement now is that we are chaos capped, so we don't have to stress too much about our mana degenning all of the time, because of us taking chaos damage before mana, before life, as we are low life and we don't have a Shavron's wrappings. We are making use of our coruscating elixirs still, so chaos damage cannot bypass our energy shield, just for in case when our mana does dip down when we are taking a lot of damage and we're proccing a shit ton of frost bolts too. Otherwise, I've just got my flasks to use when they reach full, so it's a little bit intensive, well, less intensive on using buttons, of course. Nothing else too special. Of course, I've replaced the normal cast on critical strike with the awakened version for the increased cooldown recovery. Otherwise, I'm still just leveling up my gems to get them all to 21. I'll probably just buy ones that are level 21. If my corruptions don't go well. And yeah, auras are all still the same. I am running a cost when damage taken, Molten Shell, Sniper's Mark, and Sigil of Power over here though in the gloves. This is so when we do take, what is it? When I take 2,600 damage or so, then it will proc normal Molten Shell first, which is an additive defensive layer, and then Sniper's Mark, of course, which is only here for bossing, because we're guaranteed to take somewhat damage on bosses. So we're able to have a curse on them. And then Sigil of Power is just here for the extra damage mitigation on bossing too, which helps out a ton. Otherwise, there's nothing else really that's different. Of course, my rings are a bit different. I've got extra chaos resistance here and some intelligence and strength and a little bit of life, and placeholdering some resistances there too. I feel like if you don't want to get chaos resist rings, or if you want to even drop these nodes here in the tree with the chaos resistance, then you can do so by getting a Watcher's Eye. But I will be putting that out in the guard as a different variation of which path you can take with the build. Otherwise, I've got a pretty juicy map here. It's got some vulnerability and extra monsters and extra damage dealt and so forth. Got my sextances here, well, my sextants and modifiers and all of these cool little things. Let's just jump in. It's a T16 Fields. And I'm just going to show you how Frostbolt performs, and then I'll switch to Freezing Pulse as well, and then you guys can get the basic idea of which one is dealing how much more damage and that. Otherwise, they both clear really well. I mean, I haven't had any problems with clearing. If anything, it's really satisfying, and I've really grown onto this build. I think it's one of the most fun builds that I've played in quite a long time, especially in terms of cost and crits, and the fact that we don't have to use a specific unique weapon. Otherwise, we are really tanky too. I've tanked quite a couple of huge hits on that. Let's pop into Scourge here. Kill some of these nasty enemies. Yes. Yeah, compared to Freezing Pulse, Frostbolt I feel like is a lot more fun, especially in terms of clearing. Could just be me, but on bosses it does lack actually. On bossing it feels like the damage is probably about 2/3 of what Freezing Pulse is. I'm not too sure how else I can make it feel any more, well, any smoother on bossing. But I'm sure that I just need to get it to level 21, and then we'll be able to determine whether or not I'm going to use it for the full build, or the Freezing Pulse is still taking the cake. Oh, let's just do some more Scourge here. We can head over to the boss. See, Frostbolt is just so cool because it clears so far. I just really enjoy it. There's another cool thing with using Frostbolt is that it sends our vortexes all over the place too, which is even more damage, especially for mapping. I reckon that this will be really amazing, especially if you're running Delirium maps. You'll be able to just keep everything frozen and chilled. Okay, let's just kill a boss here. Remember, we do have vulnerability on us, and there's extra damage on the map too. This is why we have all molten shell. Oh, that bleed is just terrible, but it's okay. We don't need to worry about it. Go. Get that out of the way. Okay, now let's just switch to Freezing Pulse real quick. Show you guys what Freezing Pulse is looking like. So this little one here. There we go. Right. Let's continue. As you can see, Freezing Pulse, the projectiles are really quick and somewhat more satisfying, I'd say, than Freezing well, than Frostbolt, but yeah. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide. But yeah, I would also like to just mention that I've defeated all of the Conquerors and Shaper. I've also done Saurus already. I've done a few beefed up maps, like way more dangerous than this one, and I didn't encounter any problems, especially with doing the Scourge Mechanic. The only thing that actually ends up killing me is my own stupidity, and that's when I don't have coruscating elixir up and I'll die to some form of chaos damage. But most of the time it's probably the only thing to worry about, but using the charges when the flask reaches full has helped mitigate my silliness, of course. The only thing is on bosses such as Saurus, you will have to run at least 2 elixirs, maybe even 3, because a lot of his mechanics deal chaos damage, and if you do get hit by them, you are guaranteed to die. If you don't have your flask up, of course. But if you have the flask up, you don't have to worry about it at all. I just felt I should add that in. That's probably the only problem I've encountered with the build. Otherwise, I've done some juiced up Delaria maps and stuff too. I'm really happy with the build, and I'm pretty sure that with much more investments into the build it can be even greater. However, I do find that it is probably in the best state it can be in now. But yeah, that is that. You guys got to see the differences in damage there. I'm pretty sure that Freezing Pulse will still be the best for bossing, but I could be wrong. I will just have to get my Frostbolt to level 21, which I'll be doing soon. Otherwise, that is the build at the moment, guys. If you enjoyed this update video, then I highly recommend that you should subscribe to my channel, as I'll have many more of future builds that I'll play. And don't forget that I will be releasing guards on these update videos when I feel that the builds are stable. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, Exile.